Okay, so welcome back. This is still Pan-African Morning News right here on Galaxy Universal Network. And of course, we are still bringing you more inspirational, motivational story right here on the Pan-African Morning News. And of course, we are joined by Kwethiwe Phakathi, to give us more confidence and just boost, your confidence out here.
But before we went on to the break, before we welcome Sis Kwethiwe right here, you were saying something quite very important before going to the break. Yes.
When we were interviewing, Mam Linda, one thing that I really liked about what Mam Linda said, when we talked about the issue, or rather the story of Oprah Winfrey coming to, our country and building schools. Mam Kwethiwe said, it's because Oprah has been profiled, but we do have women right here in the entire, Africa, and of course in South Africa, that are also helping other, young children out there,
doing great things.
Yeah, we're doing great things, of course. So I'd like to say, thank you so much for Umam Kobodo, for actually informing us that there are women that are not as profiled as Oprah that are doing very good things,
Yes.
And one of those women, of course, is one we are sitting with here right here on the green couch, Kwethiwe as well, giving us, inspirational stories, informative stories, and giving women, especially young women, a confidence. Welcome, Kwethiwe.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
what an introduction.
Yes. Good morning, madam. How are you doing?
I am fabulous. I feel like it's a Monday. Monday is my favorite day of the week, so I feel like today is Monday. That's how awesome I am.
You are fabulous, of course.
Thank you.
It's of course a Tuesday. You are bright and early, of course. You have you're putting on your African gear that you're always on. Please tell us about yourself. Who is Kwethiwe?
So Kwethiwe, I am a purpose entrepreneur, but before that, I'm just an advocate for freedom. I'm an advocate for excitement. I'm an advocate for happiness. So as a purpose entrepreneur, I'm basically showing people that it's possible for you to live your purpose while making money out of it and having fun all at the same time, right? So in that area, I've got 3 businesses that are running. The oldest one is 8 years old, the training company. I'm also a confidence coach, Kwethiwe, # the voice of confidence. Don't you forget it. And I also have a natural hair salon. Hey now. Can you see?
I see.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of launching a 4th business. So that's what I am. Have fun. None of these businesses are just there for the sake of money. They are all an extension of who I already am. I mean, the training one, I love going into people's minds, introducing concepts at foundation level and taking it from there to develop the people, The confidence coaching is basically the story of my life.
Yes.
I am Miss Confidence just from birth. So, it's just an extension of who I am, helping people with sessions and online courses. And the natural hair, well, that's a long story, but it's also an extension of who I am. I mean, when I was in high school, I remember telling my parents that I want to leave my hair natural. And they were saying, not here, not here. You're not going to walk around like that. So I said, as soon as I write my final matric paper, I'm going natural, because you guys are saying not here, and the rest is history.
You're actually the right person this morning, Sisanda. You just said that you're an advocate of happiness, of laughter, of excitement.
Yes.
I actually feel it now. I can actually, get
feel your energy.
Feel your energy, and that's what we need, especially during this pandemic that we've been faced with. People are being going through depression, unemployment. Is going on a rise, and people are just unemployed. So I can just imagine, that at home people are sitting there depressed. So we do need, Kwethiwe, to give us some confidence and boost. So how would you boost someone's confidence and, you know, hope, give somebody hope out there who's sitting and saying, you know, this is COVID-19, you know, there are no jobs, we are unemployed, and people are going through depression.
Yes.
What
have you been
confidence
stalking me? Have you been watching
of course,
things I do?
I even followed you this week on Instagram, you know, so I have been stalking you.
Because I actually do have a 4-day program in the confidence coaching business that's called From Employed to Unemployed Now What?
Yes.
It's not something I always had, I must admit. It was because of feedback that I was receiving from confidence coaching clients as when the lockdown was fairly new. You know, they were busy saying my concerns, I've lost work, I've been retrenched. And then based on that feedback, I compiled a 4-day program, right? So I'll just take from that to help people.
Yes.
So you just perhaps got retrenched or you've had a decline in your income. The first thing you need to think of is to find out what's the actual problem with this change.
Yes.
What's the actual problem with the change? Because usually then the clients will say answers such as, where am I going to get money for school fees? How am I going to pay for rent? Etc., etc. But nobody cites the problem as being, I have additional time. You now have time that you never had before, right? You had 8 hours that were supposed to go to work. Now you have an additional 8 hours. So what is that? That's actually freedom. Freedom for you to decide to now meet your dreams. What do I actually want to do? So if you were enjoying the job you were in, what about it were you enjoying? Let's say you were management in administration. What were you enjoying about that? Is it putting things in order? You now have an opportunity to exercise that skill in other areas. Because people look at employment or purpose as something separate of their lives as a whole. Now you have a chance to assess your life as a whole. Where do I want to apply these skills that I enjoy doing, or things that some people don't even know what they enjoy doing or what they're good at? Now you have the chance to do that.
Yes.
Right? So that's where I always say start. And then now somebody who's coming to me with the headspace that you just explained now, Palisa, of, oh, I'm so depressed, I don't know what to do. Yes, kids, I hear the purpose thing, but I'm feeling bleh. What now? The first thing you need to do is you need to attend to rewiring your mind. Your mind is used to creating the worst possible scenario. Now you're already in it, the worst possible scenario. Now you want to think of even worse than the worst. Your brain is used to that, right? So now it's your opportunity to retrain your brain to think, what's the best that could happen? And usually when I say that, people say, oh, but I'm going to sound crazy if I suddenly think, oh, what if I wake up and I've got so many dollars or rands in my account? Oh, what if I wake up and I do have an income? My kids, you sound crazy. But you already sound crazy when you're sitting there thinking, oh, now tomorrow we're going to die because I don't have income. Why are we comfortable thinking of the worst that can happen, but uncomfortable thinking of the best that can happen, right? But that's my job. That's where I come in when helping you with the online courses to realize the advantages and disadvantages of both sides of that coin.
Quite very much.
I'm actually listening now. I don't know what I'm going to ask question of, like, now you're actually inspiring me and putting confidence in me, so I'm actually listening to my kids.
Yes. Quite very interesting. Now, you're focusing very much in terms of confidence, and we know that a lot of people, they believe they can't do specific things, not that because they cannot do it, simply because they are not confident enough to start. What do you say to a person who is afraid of starting something because they think they cannot do it?
Or even, Sisanda, what do you say to a person who's afraid of jumping out of an abusive relationship also, you know, to say this person uyakuphela ongenzela izinto, or rather if I walk out of this, you know, relationship or marriage, I'm gonna be labeled now a divorcee, all the stigma, you know. So what do you say to a woman going through, you know, that, especially jumping out of
so will you ladies allow me to answer both questions separately?
Yes,
I want to service them, right? I don't want to cheat you out of the information. So somebody who says, I'm not confident to do ABC, like Sisanda has said, what then? So I always say, for you to realize the freedom of the fact that confidence is something you already have, right? It's just a matter of meeting it or acknowledging it. I'll say to that person, what do you know regarding this ABC thing that you want to do, that you want to embark on? Because at the end of the day, what you know equals to your level of practiced confidence. I'm saying practice because it's there, just not practiced, right? So what's the relationship there? If you saying, let me do it practically. So Sisanda, what's the one subject that you feel you know nothing about?
One subject?
Yeah, in one area.
Engineering.
Engineering, right? And then, now I'm saying, when it comes to engineering, look at what you do know, right? So you know nothing about it, but there are things you know about engineering. So what do you know about engineering? For example, you could know that it's people can qualify and become engineers. You could know that it's about problem solving. You could know that there's different areas of specialities within engineering. Take that information and act upon that. So when you get asked to go and deliver a talk about engineering and you feel you know nothing about engineering, just focus on what you do know. Then when you get there, what you'll speak about, you'll be confident in because you're just focusing on what you know. Ladies and gentlemen, engineering is a matter of what area you're specializing in. We've got electrical engineers, we've got civil engineers, we've got someone listening to you has no idea that there's actually 98% that you know nothing about. So what kills your confidence is you want to focus on what you don't know. And that's not what confidence is, right? So that's you apply that same principle to anything you want to do. I'm scared of starting that hair salon. What do you know about hair salon? What do you know about starting a hair salon? I'm scared of asking him out on a date. I'm scared of asking him to marry me. What do you know about that situation? You know he really likes you, etc. You know, so you do it that way. And then coming to your question.
Well, ask me, what do I know? You know, what subject? Okay, me nagegule subject. I want to focus on a relationship. Relationship.
You want to leave. You're saying somebody wants to leave a relationship, right? But now they're dependent on this person, etc. So, in that
or maybe
situation,
that person is not treating her right, or it can be different kinds of abuse. It can be emotional abuse, it can be verbal abuse, it can be psychological abuse. Kodwa nje mina kuma relationships sicela ukuthi yabona makhuluma ngale subject leyo. Nkosi yami futhi sengivele nje ngiwasha izandla.
Yeah, I've actually had I've actually had many clients, believe it or not, that come to me with relationship issues, from in-laws to the person I'm with to why I want to leave, etc. So when you come to me and you're saying, I want to leave, but I don't know how, the first thing I recognize there is you don't want to leave. Because when you want to bath, you bath, right? So then we explore, why are you saying you want to leave? Because chances are, once we explore that, you will realize, do you really want to or don't you want to? Then that's where we start from, right? But if the outcome of our assessment and coaching is that you do indeed want to leave, it's a matter of you realizing that you are not, the leaving is not for the other person. So it's now called going, because it's about you. Does it make sense? Because if I'm saying I'm leaving the hall, it's about the hall. But if I'm going somewhere, it's about me. Where am I going, right? So we'll get that during the coaching, but usually you realize that there's freedom in doing it for you. Because if you're still doing it for them, it's about them. When am I leaving them? How am I leaving them?
So basically you're saying you should do it for yourself, like your own. It should be, not because of her, of him.
Exactly. So that's why the first step is for us to assess, do you really want to leave or not, and why?
But then what if there are kids involved and you're like, you know what, the reason is because, I can't leave this person because of my family, I'm protecting my family, I don't want my kids to be without a father. How do you deal with such cases? Is it still now going back to it's about you, not about the kids or not about him?
Do you know that in most cases when people stay in relationships they don't want to stay in for the kids, it ends up harming the kids? So then we still go back to the same process of coaching. Do you really want to leave or not, and why? Because it's not for the kids actually. Because when you stay in a messy relationship for the kids, you're actually harming them in the long run.
But then tell me, is it possible that as a confidence coach, of course, that you are able to discuss or advise your clients into resolving issues in their relationship, other than just telling them, hi sisi balega ngenyawo zombili kurong la? Is it possible that you sit the woman down and say, you know what, this is what you need to do before umtshela ukuthi idla phansi mama kuphi la?
I'm laughing at you two because you are actually making me take the work of a relationship coach. I'm not a relationship coach. That's what a relationship coach does. But what I do is I show you the role you played in making this relationship a relationship you want to leave. Because you need to be honest with yourself in that, right? Because as a confidence coach, I'm an advocate for helping people become fully themselves, which means don't lie to yourself about who you are. So be realistic about your contribution to the mess that is this relationship. Once you are realistic about that and you accept yourself as you are, flaws and all, not try dodge some of it, right? Then we have a look at what are your reasons for staying in this thing that you're saying you want to leave, right? Because I remember at the end of the day, Sisanda, we can give you reasons for leaving from A to Z. everybody can see them, so can you. But if it's still coming from us, chances of you doing them are very slim. So it's just a process of making you aware of where you want to go and what you're actually doing that's helping you get there. So no, I will not tell people what to do. However, I will coach them in a way that reveals themselves to themselves so they can be confident about who they are, so that they can then decide what to do with that situation.
Now let's talk about confidence in ourselves.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
as women, you know, there's this notion where people always believe that you need to be yellow bone and, you know, and all that.
So
and
are you pointing at me, yellow bone?
Yeah, no, yellow
Am
bone.
I yellow
I guess.
bone?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so yellow bone.
You know, you need to have this longest weave and everything else, and dress the hottest and the sexiest, and the, you know, the shorter your dress is, the more hotter you are for you to appear as being beautiful. Are we building a confidence of nakedness to prove that a woman can actually be beautiful? I'll make an example. If ever Palisa can actually publish a picture of her wearing a beautiful a long gown and stuff like that, you would see how many people would follow and like that. Let her wear
on social
a
media.
bikini, you know, be posing at the beach with almost everything showing. You will see the crowd behind that. What are we
And
saying
then let
about?
me take off my wig and sit at home, and then it will just passing. Okay. So kushuthi fanele manje you created that poverty mentality, and you know no, what is it called? Not poverty mentality. I want to say let me create
The
this
fake,
cosmetic
look,
poverty look to make people think ukuthi I should palisa ziyakhipha unemali unamawivi nani, you know.
So confidence has nothing to do with other people's opinion of you. That's why we find ourselves in confidence ICU, because we think that confidence is a matter of what other people say. Now you find yourself sick because people are not saying what you want them to say today. It's a problem, so I can't be confident. It's a mess. Because your confidence is based on what we're going to say about you. And once you've discovered true confidence, you realize that it actually has nothing to do with what we are going to say. Because when you are being, when you are doing, it's about you. So when you are wearing that bikini, it's about you, whether you post it or not. But now once you want to post it just so that we give you the validation you want to, then it's not confidence. That's actually a signal of you being in a hospital due to lack of confidence, right? But if you posting it, because it might happen on another day that you do post that bikini picture, you still get 2 likes. And you're still the happiest person in the world because your confidence is about you. It's not about our reaction to you being you, right? Let me show you a simple definition of confidence, right? Because I say confidence is the ability to be fully yourself anywhere, everywhere, all the time and anytime. But some people might need an example. So let's say you are in a management position at work. If you are in a management position at work and it's about us, that means you have the job of, on top of being a manager, you have the job of making us feel that you're the manager. You have the job of making us see that you're the manager. You have the job of us knowing that you're the manager. You know, like an arrogance coat. Like you must feel, you must know, you must see, you know. That's an additional job. But if you are confident and you're a manager at work, it has nothing to do with us seeing, knowing, feeling anything.
Yes, you're not going to be threatened,
a manager.
you know, by any young people coming in, you know, workspace, and you know, because you know you have those managers where it nje makungene nje labo ma 2000, and then you as a manager you'd want to, you know, take over, ubabonisa labantwana ukuthi hey mina ngiphethe la
yimi boss,
yimi ubasi la. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Whereas
uzobatshela ukuthi bagcoke njani, bayenze njani, bakaminwele njani.
Yeah, whereas with confidence it comes with such ease. You just are a manager. You know that you're competent, you excel, you're good at leadership. There's no additional job of making us anything. So it's not about us. So confidence is a you matter. So even when it comes to your competence, let's say you feel you've aced this task, right? And then you get feedback from your leader that says, nah, this is a 3 out of 10. You will not see that as offensive or, oh, they're jealous because, you know, no. Instead, you will take that score of 3 out of 10 for something that you thought, remember, was a 10 out of 10, and go take that feedback and see how to apply it to do better next time. That's all it is. It's freedom. It's ease.
I love that. Confidence is freedom. You know, so be free within yourself.
Now
outside.
let's go into I know you did speak about how beauty or should not be validated by anybody for you to know that this is who I am and whatsoever. But now let's look at the reality of the society right now. That the society perceive, or actually we look into what the society sees, and then we perceive those things to be the correct way of doing things, of course. So now people like myself, maybe, and you that grew up in societies where dark-skinned people are obviously viewed as, you are not beautiful, go sit down and whatever. And until this day, there are still people that still believe that, I need to bleach my face, I need to look different, so that when I put my hand on my face, you're like, how, Sisanda, whose hand is that on your face? So what is it that we need to say or do to people to give them that confidence to know that you are beautiful, however you might come out? You might be black, you might be gray, you might be pitch black like Sisanda, or whatever else color that you might come out in, you are still beautiful.
Whatever else color you might come out in.
Yeah.
You're making me laugh. So with the way you look being translated to your beauty level, that's not something we can change. So let's look at like what you're asking, right? You're asking, how do we change the person who's hearing that you are not beautiful's mind? Because we can't change the people that say you are not beautiful,
of course,
right? Because I mean, we perceive what we perceive. I think that's pretty. I don't think that's pretty. You can't change me. So what are we doing to you? Receiving that. That's what Sisanda is asking. So it's a matter of, let's take away your focus from your appearance. There's a common phrase that says beauty is on the inside.
Yes.
Is that common, or am I making it up?
No, you're not.
Beautiful
it's
on the
true,
inside.
yeah.
It exists, right? So let's focus on that, in the sense that I always ask people this, and it takes a while for some people to figure it out, but maybe you have it off the top of your head, is, if you were to die today, what would Earth as a planet lose? Nice. Because if you know the answer to that, right? Don't tell me my mom would lose a child, my child would lose their parent. No. I'm talking about greater, the whole planet of Earth. What would Earth lose if you died today? Because there's no duplication of you. Even if you guys went to the same class, the same school, you both have presenting and production jobs for international channels, there's still no duplication of you. So that answer of what would the planet lose when you are gone, that there's no duplication of, is your beauty. Because once you acknowledge that and flourish in that, when we look at you, we see energy. Have you had a situation where when you looked at someone, you thought they are not beautiful, right? Because we perceive what we perceive. And then after a while, once you get familiar with their energy, it's not that their face changes, guys. It doesn't suddenly become what you think is beautiful, but you suddenly think they are stunning when you look at them. It's because of their energy. So, because energy doesn't lie. So once you flourish in who you know you are, with or without this face, with or without this outfit, I know that I'm on earth to speak life. I know why I'm here. So when I die, I can't say if I die, because we're all gonna die. So when I die, when I'm a great-grandmother,
Awesome.
Earth is gonna miss out on Maketi speaking life the way I do. There will be other people speaking life, but not the way Maketi does it, right? So if I live in the fullness of that, I'm beautiful to you. Whether you think my face appears beautiful or not, my energy is just like, so yeah, Sisanda, you answered.
Yes, I'm answered. I'm still, I'm still, wanting you to give me more on that, because as I said earlier, that the problem is the society at the end of the day. You find these young people, and nowadays it's easy for us, for me and you as matured women to sit and say, listen, don't focus on that, focus on that. But now for a young person who still can't really grasp some part of information that needs to be stored in your brain to be able to understand the importance of, overlooking some of the things and just focusing straightforward into the actual story behind, their beauty. If I tell you, what, Maketa, no, come on, you are beautiful. Not everybody. I think it takes special people, right now I don't want to sound like, you know, me type of thing. But I grew up as one of those kids, you know, in my village where I had this big voice. They used to even call me Berry White.
Yes.
I have this big voice, and, you know, I almost look like a guy. If they would say, and I'm dark and stuff. I was actually one of the most ugliest girls, if the society, as far as the society was concerned.
Yeah.
But tell you what, I was the one winning all the beauty contests in the space.
Yes,
because
now.
I told myself. So now I've been trying. So I'm thinking you'll be able to help. I've been trying to transfer that to other people, to say, no, man, believe in yourself. I mean, try. But maybe because I'm not really a confidence coach in that manner, I'm not really able to translate the message that was instilled in my head before. Because if my mama would tell me, Sisanda, you are beautiful, I didn't care who else tell me otherwise, you know, because I believe that, you know, every time, and my mom would look and say, you know, that thing. And I'm like, yeah, you know. But even though a lot of people would even back and then call you whatever. So how do a young person try to take those messages in their hearts? Because even the media right now is playing a very, very big role in portraying beauty as being your kanyimba, or you know, your mshoza, you know, your bonang. If you want to be beautiful, that's the picture that we see. We see young people wanting, they aspire to be like those people. So now you have this dark-skinned girl who actually sees that, no, I don't think beauty needs to be like how I look. How do we help those people?
Okay, so if you're a parent, first of all, before I answer, if you're a parent of such a child, do get in touch with me, because that needs thorough coaching, right? Because I need to coach them to no longer own what society is saying to them, right? I do have online courses that deal with that. One of them is called Where Are You Hiding, right? Where you discover that you're actually hiding in society's opinion, you're hiding in what society approves, among other things, right? So do get in touch with me if you're a parent with such a child. But to answer that, because I understand now what you're saying, that the answer I gave, even though it's effective, it doesn't help that young person there now who's like, yeah, I hear this inner thing, Kwethiwe, I must flourish in it, but wait. But people are saying, I'm not beautiful, they don't see it, right? So here's a challenge. I'll just throw a challenge at that person. You start announcing your looks as beautiful. So find other people that you feel are what society in your neighborhood, right? Because now we're doing it practically for that girl. In your neighborhood, you're not the only one who's perceived as not beautiful because you are a certain height, a certain skin color with certain kind of hair. Collect them.
Weight as well.
Weight as well. Oh, don't tell me about weight. I grew up having all sorts of names because, I mean, one of them was Mystique. Yeah, that was one of the names I had. And Daddy Long Legs, because being tall as a girl was not a cool thing. So collect people that don't fit into your local society mold. And then you guys start defining that this is beautiful. And even maybe on a limb, guys, give it a different name from beautiful.
Exactly.
Because remember, beautiful, we already give it those connotations that society has given it. So you give it another term that's exciting. Like, we look... I don't know. I can't think. We look colorful. We look colorful. We look colorful. You know.
You're happy.
We look happy. You know. Give it another name that means you look.
Now tell me, how do you differentiate or draw a line between being arrogant and being confident?
My favorite question. So I get that a lot. People come to me and they say, "My Katie, being a confidence coach, that's very out there. How do you tread the line of not falling into arrogance?" First question I usually ask in response to that question is, do you think I'm arrogant? That's the first question I ask. And usually the answer I get is, no, I don't think you're arrogant at all. And I say, imagine now, if a confidence coach is not arrogant, can you see now that arrogance and confidence are actually not related, guys? So let me share some freedom here with you, Africa. The problem is that we have been taught that there is a thin line between arrogance and confidence. You can be so confident that it becomes so strong that it becomes arrogance flavor. That's what we've been taught. But the freedom is, that is far from the truth. Confidence and arrogance are actually galaxies apart. There's no thin line, galaxies apart. Let me show you what I mean. With confidence, you just are, right? Like we said with the whole boss example. You're not trying to prove anything to anyone. But with arrogance, it's an ego thing. With arrogance, it's your ego saying they must know, they must see, they must feel. Right now, I'm not sitting here for you to feel, see, know anything, or for the viewers. I'm just being. So that's the difference. So once you know that you've got that additional job of making us believe that you are what you say you are, then you know you're being arrogant. Because with arrogance, it's something you can take with you at any level. So even if you are at grade 1 of an industry, entry level of an industry, or you're at master level of an industry or an area, you have the job of arrogance. But if you're confident, you are confident, you are happy to say, guys, I'm at entry level of this industry. You're happy about that. You're excited. You are making the most of it. You're not walking around trying to make us feel anything. I'm happy to be the guy that holds the mic. I've made it into studio work. I'm happy to be here. You know.
Now tell me, people at the workspaces, of course, you probably want to be confident enough, maybe in your workspace, in your academia, wherever departments where you are in a professional space. You want to show that you know what you know, without, of course, looking or seeming to be arrogant to other people and stuff. How do you manage your confidence in your workspace, in maybe your business, in whatever, to say, without what you mentioned earlier, to say you don't want to look like you are in somebody's face, you know, I know what I'm doing. I'll just make an example. Let's say a person cleaning the office, for an example, she needs to take these things off here and whatever, and maybe there's Sisanda sitting there and she would always want to make her feel otherwise, and she would probably say, you know what, I know I do this at my own time. I maybe clean these tables at 11 o'clock, so I'm not going to be coming there and being told by Sisanda when to clean these tables, because I know when to clean my tables, you know what I'm saying? So, but without sounding arrogant, to say, you know, Park, Sisanda, I do these things at my own time, you know what I'm saying? Not that I was not going to do it, I was going to do it, but I do it at a certain time. How do I manage my confidence around my workspace without, you know, stepping on other people's feet?
And also, just to add on that, you know, in the workspace as well, you do have, you know, all these, when you have to go to interviews, you know, you have to look a certain way, or, you know, put your straight weave on and your suit. Why can't I just go, you know, on an interview and be confident enough to wear my African attire as well? You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with it? To say, maybe if I'm wearing an African attire, you know, to a workspace, they're not going to take me serious. You know, how do you...
They start asking me, what's the occasion?
What's the occasion? You know what I mean? Say when you go to an interview with that type of a hair, then they might think, oh, this one, you know, she won't be formal enough, you know, or look formal enough. How do you deal with such cases?
Okay, so to answer the first part of, actually, let's start with the second part of the question. Sorry, Sisandane, we're coming to you with the first part.
Yes.
Let's answer the second part. So if you go to an interview, it's okay to call before the interview and ask the receptionist what's the usual acceptable appearance method or whatever, just so that you get there and it's visible that you're somebody that follows the set rules, whether you agree with them or not.
Yes.
Because remember, you do have the choice to decide, I'm not going to an interview there. They want me in a suit. No way, I'm not going. You do have that choice, right? So just call beforehand and ask what's acceptable. If you want to show a touch of your flair, perhaps, and the receptionist says people must come formal or whatever, etc., you can have a touch of your flair within the formal attire. Nothing stopping you from that, you know, whether it's a patch here of color or maybe floral something, you know, I'm making stuff up now, or maybe just instead of appearing in a black suit, you come in a red suit like Sisanda. It's still suited, still formal, but
She
you
had
still,
to say like Sisanda,
you know,
red
you're still
suit.
adding your flair, you know, so do that. But do remember that when going to an interview, right now this is me coaching somebody who's going to an interview.
Yes.
When going to an interview
Or an audition.
Yeah.
Every time I ask people, why are you going to that interview? They tell me, so that the people there can screen me and see if I fit what they want, and then they'll select, and, you know, great. That's actually why that person is conducting the interview. I'm asking you, why are you going to the interview? So the answer is, you must have your own reason for going to that interview. It must have nothing to do with being screened, etc., etc. So you set your mandate. the reason I'm going to this interview is because I want whoever is in that room to know that when they want a training facilitator, they look nowhere else except here. I'm going to that room so that those people know that when it comes to learning and development design, they go nowhere else but here. You see, it has nothing to do with are they screening, are they looking, that's their business. So that's your step one when you go into an interview, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you want to say
in closing, how do I, maybe as a parent, be able to raise my children to be confident as they grow in whatever that they do? Or how do I raise a confident woman or a confident young man as they grow up to know, would see, this is me? So what's the role of a parent in instilling confidence in their children's life?
I think the role of a parent is a very difficult one, because some parents are even fighting me about this, but I really think that we should try by all means as people parenting that we do not force the kids into a mold that we have been forced into, right? For example, your child wants to put the lounge mat upside down during playtime or whatever, right? The way in which you approach that can affect their confidence. So instead of saying, no, we don't do that, you let the mat sit upside down for a while. Then you ask the child how, even if it's a 4-year-old or 3-year-old, because I speak to even 1-month-olds, like they hear us, I don't know what baby talk is. Then ask the 3 or 4-year-old, why is the mat now upside down? Because it belongs the other way around. No, I wanted to try what. Okay, are you okay now to put it that way around? Great. Because they are exploring, they're experimenting, because it's with those little things that you get them used to. Oh, we don't do this in life. Oh, on earth, we don't act like this. So that by the time they become a 6-year-old, they are adjusting to how earth is run. And remember, how earth is run is something we agreed upon, so it's changeable. So allow them to explore, to ask. Ask kids. Do you know how much you can find out if you decide to ask children instead of just saying, don't?
Anyway, Makhethi, we have had a very, very great one with you. Unfortunately, we have come to an end. But the good part is, Makhethi is going to be here every Monday.
Yeah.
Every Monday she's going to be here with us, giving us this confidence, so we are going to now start looking from topic to topic so that we are able to explore all of them. But thank you so much for giving us this very insightful morning. It's already revived me. Right now, when I come out here, my walk will be different, I'm telling you.
Watch me, So to all our viewers, they can send us all the messages, that they want to ask Makhethi, because like Sisanda said, every Monday, Makhethi will be joining us right here on the Pan-African Morning News Monday, only on Mondays, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure that you don't miss, our
She said Mondays are her favorite days.
Makhethi Mondays.
Makhethi Mondays.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Makhethi, for joining us. So we are now going to take a very short break. When we're coming back, we've got more news and updates for you right here on Pan-African Morning. Do stay with us.